Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we are going to be talking on how to cut and sew a simple corset gown. So these are the things, this is the fabric I'm going to be using. So my ruler, my tape ruler, my scissors with my chalk is ready. So if today is your first time of watching my YouTube channel, please, I want you to subscribe. So let's get back to work right now. This is the fabric we are going to be using for the style we are sewing. I already removed the half length, which is 15, and this is the body measurement. I already chalk out the full length of the gown we are making, which is 54, and I already have add my 1-inch sewing allowance to it. This is the measurement we are working with on the screen, as you can see that. So let's see. Our waist measurement is 27.5. 27.5 divided by 4 will give us 6.5 1/4. That is what we have here, 6.5 1/4 plus our 2-inch sewing allowance. So let's chalk that out. From the waist to the hip I'm using 8 inches from the waist to the hip. Can you see that? So let's chalk that. From the waist to the hip we are using 8 inches. Okay, so her hip is 36. 36 divided by 4 will give us 9. That is what we have here, 9. Can you see that? Plus the 2-inch sewing allowance. 2-inch sewing allowance. So let's chalk out, let's rule it out. So I'm using our hip ruler to hip that. If you don't have hip ruler, that's not a problem. Just use your free hand to do that shaping. Can you see that? So what I do here is I use straight ruler to rule out the remaining parts. So this is what we have. This is the body measurement from the waistline downward. So I'm going to cut it out right now. I will cut out the body measurements. So I'm not going to cut the down part. I will not cut it out. I'll just notch it. Then I'll now use lining to complete it. So the fabric is going to remain inside. So I'm going to cut out the zip side. So the next thing we are going to do now is we are going to cut out our lining for the fabric. We're going to cut out the interfacing for the fabric as shown. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut out the back body measurement, which is the half length. I'm going to cut out the half length. So this is what I'm using. I'm going to remove the yoke. That's why you see me starting from the 6 points. So the up one is going to be for the yoke. So I'll cut that out. So this is what I have here. This is for the back. I already had the zip allowance with it, and this is the material I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using V-net for the yoke at the back. I'm going to be using the length of 9 by 13. 9 by 13. What I cut here on fold is 9 by 13. So I'm going to pieces it into 2. So this is for the 2 yoke. at the back. I cut 9 by 13. The reason why I cut, so I'm going to cut out the armhole from that end. So the next thing we are going to do now is we are going to cut out our corset for the front half length. So I already remove out the yoke, which is 6. I'm going to be using 6. That's why you see me removing 6 from the measurement. And the person half length is 15 plus sewing allowance. That makes it 16. That is what I just chalked there. The person on the bust is 13. So that is what I have here. And the person breast point is 10.5. So I'm going to rule that out right now. Can you see that? So I'm going to measure out the upper bust measurement right now. So from the person breast point, it's depending on your choice for the upper bust, you just measure, you can measure it. But if the person is not busty, you can use 3, you can use 3.5 for the upper bust, depending on how you want the corset to cover up. Do you understand? You can use 2, you can use 2.5. But this one I use 3 inches for the upper bust measurement because I don't want the corset to be revealing. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure out nipple to nipple. The person nipple to nipple is 7. 7 divided by 2 will give us 3.5 plus half inch sewing allowance. That makes it 4. So what I'm going to roll out now is 4 inches. So I already chopped that. Then I roll it out. Can you see that? That is 4 inches. You can see. Then from the down part, from the half length, I'll measure 1 inches from both ends. I'll measure inches from the. I'll measure 1 inches from the up on the bust too. I'll measure 1 inches. Then I'm going to rule it out. I'll just rule on a straight line from the half length to the on the bust measurement. Then the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure an half inch from the breast point to come up a little bit. I'll measure an half inch. Can you see that? Just measure an half inch. Then I'll do my shaping of the corset. Can you see that? So this is what we have. I'll do the same thing from the other side too. So this is what we have. So the next thing now is I'm going to measure what I'll be using for the circumference of the corset. So for this side, for the armhole side, I'll be using 3. Then I'll come up with the same way I come up the other time. I'll come up with that half an inch. That's where I'm going to rule. That's where I'm going to do my shaping. Can you see the way I place the... You just have to find a very good place to place your armhole ruler. So the other ends I use 3. So for the middle part, I'm going to use 2.5 and quarter. I'll be using 2.5 and quarter. I'm going to be using half an inch for the middle side circumference. I'm going to be using half an inch. But before that, I'll need to do my shaping for the up. So the same thing I measure at the down part, I measure 1 inch. So I'll measure it at the upper bust measurements too. I'll do my half an inch, then I'll place it. Can you see that? So this is what I have. I'll measure the same thing, 1 inch. Yeah, so I'll do the shaping. Can you see that? So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to come down from the upper bust. I'm going to come down with 2.5. Yes, I'll come down from there, depending on your choice, how you want to come down, how you want the corset to be refilling, depending on your choice. But this one, I don't want it to be too refilling. That's why I come down with 2.5. Then I measure out the half an inch and I roll it. Then you do your shaping. Can you see that? So this is what I have, but the shaping here is not good. Let me do the shaping very well. Let it give me perfect shaping. Yes. So this is what we have. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to shape out this place. Yes, that is my armhole side. So the next thing we are going to do now is we are going to measure out our body the chest measurement. We said that chest measurement is 36. 36 divided by 4 will give us 9 plus 2 inch sewing allowance. Can you see that? Then for this place, this is how I always measure out my waistline. Can you see that? That is 3. So I'll just place, this is after all the shaping, I have 3.25. So I'm going to place it. Can you see that? I'll place that 3.25 to get out the waist measurement, which is 27.5 plus 2 inch sewing allowance. So I'm going to rule that out as well. Can you see that? So this is what I have. So I'm going to cut this out. I'll cut it out now. I don't want to use that scissors because paper used to make scissors not to be sharp. So I just have to like use one of my scissors that is not that good again. So I'm going to cut everything out. This is the middle part. So this is what I'm going to be using to cut out the main fabric I'm going to be using. So I'll cut it out. So I'm going to cut them out and I'll number them so that I'll not do mistake. So that you number them so that you not do mistake. For this middle part, I'm going to write F1. That F1 is front 1 and front 2. Oh, what? So I'm almost done with cutting the paper. So the next thing I'm going to do after cutting the paper, I'm going to cut everything I could just cut in the paper. I'm going to cut out with the fabric I'm going to be using for the half length of the front bodice. And this is it I'm cutting. This is the material I want to use. Can you see that? And I already had my half inch on both sides. You're going to add half inch on both sides of the fabric you're using. So, and this material I'm using right now is Duchess material. I'm using Duchess material for the front bodies. So I'll be cutting out I'll be using Wadi for the breast part, and that is what I'm cutting out right now. So I'll be using ST for all the half length. I'll be cutting an ST that I'm going to add to the fabric. And this is for the yoke measurement. So everything I'm going to be using for the yoke measurement is 33 by 13. So that is for the yoke measurement, and this is for the sleeve measurement. And what I'm going to be using for this is the length of 40 by 7.5. Can you see that? That is for the sleeve. This fabric is on full, and this is just for one end. I'll be showing you how to stitch this by the time I post the video of the sewing. Thanks so much for watching my YouTube channel. If today is your first time of watching my video, please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to please and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to like on this video, and don't forget to click on the notification button so that you'll be notified whenever I posted a video. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. God bless you. Bye.